This AI suggested one line of code that exposed customer private data. My client's finger hovering over the merge button. 10 minutes before the end of our coaching session, I saw it. The AI tool reviewed this code, said everything looked great. Here is the bug that it missed. ChatGPT caught it in seconds. Claude caught it. The tool they trusted the most said the code was fine. I'm going to show you which tool failed, which tools caught it, and the workflow that I use to review AI-assisted code so you do not ship something that gets you fired or called into a courtroom. I tested 5 tools on 3 real tasks that you cannot afford to get wrong. Writing SQL with real business logic. Debugging a broken production pipeline. Reviewing code for security problems. The lineup: GitHub Copilot, ChatGPT+, Claude Pro, Gemini Advanced, and Databricks Genie. One tool failed in 2 of the 3 tests and gave answers that would have made the situation catastrophic. I'm going to walk you through the tests, then show you the exact review workflow that saved my client's job and that I use on my own projects. All right. Here's the first prompt. Generate SQL for a 30-day rolling average revenue by product category with year-over-year comparison. Use CTEs and window functions. Let's see how these 5 different AIs respond. Most tools did okay. Surprisingly, Copilot actually wrote the best code here. It used the range intervals to handle missing dates and respected leap years. The only downfall with Copilot here is that it assumed that we're in Postgres. So there are some Postgres specific things here. But that's not where the biggest downfall is. Look at this line. It sums up the revenue and manually divides by 30. That is a logic error. If a product launched 5 days ago, you should divide by 5, not 30. Genie's code would crash your average and make a successful launch look like a failure. Then compare year over year. It just subtracted 365 days. What the heck is this? Years are not 365 days. They are 365 and a quarter. Use this code, and after 1 leap year, year over year report is comparing Monday's sales to last year's Sunday. It is a subtle bug that ruins your data credibility over time, and the native data tool missed it. So round 1 goes to the generalist coding bots. Don't get too comfortable just yet. All right, here's the next prompt. This Airflow DAG is failing intermittently. Find and fix the bug. We've got that prompt in here. I'm going to paste the Python Airflow DAG in here, and we're going to hit the button, and we are going to see what it responds with. All right, so here's the actual code. This is a classic senior engineer trap. The code uses daytime now, so if the task retries or runs during daylight savings time, the date drifts. You should always use the Airflow execution date. This time, the big LLMs were super sharp. And so ChatGPT and Gemini caught the timezone bug immediately. Claude went a step further and suggested using S3 sensor, which is the actual best practice here. And look at Copilot. It actually caught the bug, removed the bad logic, and implemented a proper S3 hook. This is currently 2 for 2 for Copilot. But Genie missed the logic entirely. It saw that I wasn't checking S3, so it added a check, which is actually really brilliant here. But it left the date time now bug right there in the code. It put a band-aid on a broken leg. If you deployed Genie's fix, your pipelines would still crash twice a year during the time changes, and you would have no idea why, because it would happen at like 3 a.m. So right now on the dashboard, we've got Copilot looking like the champion. It writes good SQL, it debugs Python well, and you're probably feeling pretty safe using it. And that's exactly why this next test is so dangerous, because when you trust a tool, you stop checking its work. Review this data pipeline code for bugs, performance issues, and security vulnerabilities. This pipeline here processes user event logs. It worked fine in Happy Path testing. This is where most teams stop and pass it on to production. I wanted to see what these tools did if I asked for a real security review. So let's take a look at what happens. And just real quick, I want to show you what the code looks like. So this is the code that we're going to paste into our AIs and see what we get. So we're going to paste it into all four. You see that we're doing the same exact thing in all four. All 5 tools actually caught the SQL injection. They all screamed, critical vulnerability. So here is where the junior dev is separated from that senior architect. I looked at the fixes they suggested. Copilot and ChatGPT gave me that junior engineer kind of fix. They swapped in the bad line for a parameterized query, which was great. Don't mistake me. But this is secure, it works, but it's brittle. Then look at Claude. Claude didn't just fix the bug, it roasted my entire architecture. The connection pooling, it noticed I was opening a new connection for every query that was running, a recipe for crashing the database under load. Context management, it added with statements to ensure that connectors close even if the code actually crashes. Input validation, it added checks to ensure the user ID wasn't 5,000 characters long, which could happen. If I deploy Copilot's code, I don't get hacked, but my database crashes on Black Friday. If I deploy Claude's code, I'm secure and scalable. Here's the reality of AI in 2025. Databricks Genie, it's great for quick table lookups, but don't trust it to debug complex logic quite yet. Copilot, it is the ultimate speed tool. It wins on typing fast and caching syntax, but remember, autocomplete is the thing that suggested the bad code in the first place for that SQL injection. Claude, this is your senior architect. It catches the system level problems that the other ones miss. The 2 key system that I use Copilot to write fast, but I never merge until I get Claude to take a look at it. And Claude is going to roast it. Copilot is the gas pedal here, but Claude is the brake. You need both to drive safely. I've compiled the exact system design prompts that I use to get Claude to act like a principal engineer. They are in the AI defense guide below. The biggest mistake that new engineers make is not being able to troubleshoot, and that starts with deploying the skills, which I cover in this video right here.